Howdy. My name is Shannon Nicole Kringen, and I was born in 1968 in San Diego. And let's be honest, I am so grateful for my landlord, for my apartment, for my jobs as an art model, a standardized patient for medical students, which includes a phys clin modeling as well as standardized patient acting with a script. I have an art car. I'm in a play. I'm in an art gallery show. I'm in two art gallery shows. I feel kind of like a loser. I'm having trouble with each of my parents. I'm on the autism spectrum. I'm an only child. I'm left-handed. I'm an only child. I would love for there to be a documentary film made about the goddess Kring, my public access TV show I had for 15 years. I have a mom who's an artist, but she does not want me to tell you her name and that she's my mother. She desperately needs to make more money to survive. She's very personal, private. She's very personal. She's a very personal person to me because she's my mother, but she's a very private person. She's introverted. I'm having a hard time with the boundaries with each of my parents. And I'm not saying this to criticize them. I'm saying this to speak up for myself. I am a 56-year-old woman. I've never been married. I've never had kids. I had an abortion in my 20s. Um, I'm very fortunate that I'm so good at working and being practical. My mom actually is in a very precarious financial situation. My entire life, my mom has had a hard time with being practical. She's been married 4 times. Her recent boyfriend just died a few months ago. It's very sad for her emotionally, but also she needs financial help. And she already goes to the food bank. She already, there's an art gallery on Whidbey Island that used to represent her and offered to represent her again. And she could make certain clay items that used to sell. And the gallery said they could sell them for her again, but she said no. So I'm not saying this to put my mom down. I'm speaking up for me. It is hard being the daughter of this person. Okay. So I'm not here to put my mom or dad down. My dad wrote comedy and music, folk music, and his own comedy, but he had stage fright and never went on stage. So I'm frustrated. As a kid, I always wanted my parents to work on their career. They split up when I was 4. They only got married because of me. They met at Arizona State University and they divorced. They only got married because my mom got pregnant with me. And they tried to make it work for 4 years and that didn't work, so they divorced. I kind of wish that they had given me up for adoption and that a family that really wanted a child that appreciated my sensitivity and my artistic dreams would have adopted me. And then I would have parents like Taylor Swift's parents. Like, what I mean by that is not because Taylor Swift is so famous, but when I say that is because Taylor Swift from a young age wanted to pursue music and her parents supported her. Okay, her parents said, "Oh, Taylor, you want to do music?" And they didn't say, "Oh, you need to just go to college and study, something boring like business." They said, "Okay, you want to do music," but she was gung ho on it. As a little kid, Tom Petty. See, Tom Petty widens my jetty. Thank you, Tom Petty. Um, as a little, oh, here's my necklace too. Here's my fake opal necklace. You can't really tell, but there's these beautiful abalone shell opalescent opal. I glued these on here. They're on my opal moonstone art car. That took me 3 years to glue rhinestones all over my art car. Okay, so my parents are really talented, but both of them, okay, both my parents don't think they could be successful. So I'm feeling really frustrated. Like I'm 56. It's embarrassing. I'm 56 years old and I'm still waiting for my parents to grow up and fix their problems so that I can focus on myself. It's so weird. It's like as a little kid, the roles were reversed. It's like I felt a little bit, even though I was a little kid, I kind of felt like it was my job to help my parents solve their problems, or it was my job to just be a good little daughter and not get in their way. So then because of that, I feel like a sense of anger and competitiveness with other people. So I need to calm down. I'm really stressed out. My mom is going through a hard time right now. My mom has always been going through a hard time, okay? She's been married 4 times. her fourth husband was the nice guy, and she was with him for 30 years, but then he died. Okay, so at least she had a good third marriage. Now her boyfriend passed away recently. He was in his 80s, and his who knows why. Maybe it's because of the antibiotics that the hospital gave him. I don't know, but he had liver failure, and that was the end of him. Liver failure, bye-bye. So I won't even talk about that. I think mainstream medicine has been hijacked by people that do things that are not really with the Hippocratic Oath, but never mind. Never mind. I wrote a poem about it. Maybe I'll do the cryptic Kringen strikes again and I'll write a poem about not a fan of big Farm A, would rather fan out good karma and do no harma. Are you kidding me with the no liability? I wrote rhymes about that, but whatever, Hippocratic Oath out the window. So I should say that I'm so grateful, okay, for my art model jobs, for my medical model jobs, both physical stuff and my script stuff. I took an acting class. I'm in a play coming up, hopefully at the end of May, if everything works out. Um, I'm in two art shows, one at the Seattle Rep Theater, one at the Art Not Terminal Gallery in Seattle Center. Um, I work, I've worked as an art model for 33 years. So my mom is going through this thing where an art gallery in Whidbey Island is offering to market her work for her if she would make these little clay vessel egg things that used to sell. And the gallery guy said, "Hey, I think I can sell those again if you want to make your own new version of these." She's like, "No, no, that's not the direction I want to go in." She wants to do really high-end art that's very expensive, okay, which is fine. My mom actually, see, this is the part that bothers me, is that she's not practical. But the thing is, she really does have good art. And one time, at an art gallery recently, my mom had a piece that was $900, and she talked the gallery owner into jacking the price up to 1,200. And the gallery owner said, "I don't think I could sell it for that. I don't think so." But my mom talked her into it. And guess what? It sold. Somebody came in and bought my mom's piece of art for $1,200. And the gallery owner was surprised that it would sell for that much. But this person, whoever they are, thank you so much, whoever bought my mom's art for $1,200. That is amazing that this person could afford it and thought my mom's worth work, because my mom does very unique designs, which I'm not allowed to show you. I'm Shannon Kringen, the daughter of an artist on Whidbey Island, and I can't say her name. She has a different last name than me. I'm not allowed to say what her name is because she doesn't want people associating me, Goddess Kring, Shannon Kringen, multimedia artist. She doesn't want people associating me with her because her art is different than mine, but similar. We're both very much inspired by the shapes and patterns that we see in nature. And my mom does really interesting, unique work with clay and metal and enameling. But I'm not allowed to show you that. So I am frustrated. It hurts my feelings as the daughter of this person, and yet I respect her privacy, and yet I need to just speak up a little. It's hard being the daughter of this person. And then my dad has very strong opinions. He writes comedy and music, but he doesn't go on stage. He's never been on stage. He probably never will go on stage. And yet he's talented. He's inspired by Richard Pryor and Gordon Lightfoot and Bob Dylan and Joan Baez and Sam Kinison and George Carlin and all these, comedians and musicians. Okay. He appreciates Elvis and Frank Sinatra. In fact, my grandmother danced with Frank Sinatra because my grandfather promoted jazz performers in Burbank, California. My dad went to Burbank High School in California, Southern California. My dad was sort of born in Southern California, and he probably could have got into showbiz as a comedy writer or a folk singer or an actor or a model. But my dad is a little shy about doing that, but he's very tall and fit and handsome, just like I am. I'm got my Scandinavian Kringen, like I got my Kringen charisma or whatever you want to call it. So I grew up with a dad that wrote comedy and music, and he's very athletic and very smart in that way, very philosophical. And my mom did visual art that's very unique. And when my mom actually finishes her art pieces, she usually gets juried into shows. So my mom is not deluding herself when she sees her potential. My mom really does have artistic potential. And in fact, over the years, she was once offered to help somebody teach clay for $25 an hour. in an art studio on Whidbey Island, and she said no. And then she was offered $900 to fly to Alaska and teach a workshop on enameling, and she said no. She needed the money, and she said no. And then recently she was offered, I mean, it's like there's a pattern in my mom's life. It's like people think that, oh no, she's probably just not that talented. She can't. No, my mom actually is talented if she would actually follow through on finishing the work and then photographing the work and then getting a gallery to represent the work. But then when she is offered things, like one time a famous at the Bellevue Art Fair. Okay, my mom got juried into the Bellevue Art Fair a few times and she sold a few things, but not very many things. But mostly the critics love my mom and the jury people love my mom's art. So maybe my mom's art does belong in a fancy museum. I wish that a museum would just buy my mom's art and put it on a wall as a permanent installation, and just pay her money up front for it. Because my mom's art is more serious, high-end art. So the way of marketing it probably needs to be a more fancy schmancy way, like an art dealer, an art like rich people that live in mansions that appreciate my mom's modern art might want it in their mansion. I mean, seriously, that's the kind of art that my mom does is like super high quality, one of a kind work that takes many hours to do. And it is good art, but you have to market it properly, otherwise, it doesn't sell. So she doesn't want to make cutesy little things. One time she had an agent a long time ago in the 90s. My mom had an agent and she was making 1,200 bucks a month selling jewelry. My mom made one of a kind unique jewelry, and then her agent wanted her to start mass producing it. And then my mom's like, I don't want to mass produce. I want to make one of a kind handmade jewelry that's expensive. But she was making 1,200 bucks a month for it. So my mom has actually had some success, which is frustrating to me. It's like as a little kid, I always wanted my mom to be a famous artist and my dad to be a famous comedian and folk singer, but they refuse. I mean, I know not everybody can be famous. I partly made myself a little bit famous with my public access TV show. Now I drive around in my Opel Moonstone Rhinestone car. I got interviewed by Seattle Magazine. I get interviewed by the Emerald Herald. I've been on the news a couple of times. I got on KUOW website. Some of my photos got on the Bill Moyers website, the PBS website. I mean, I have literally have been published. I mean, I have achieved that. I know that love is all that really matters, but I've really always wanted to be a famous artist, and all that really means is fame. What does fame even mean? It sounds stupid to say you want to be famous. Okay, I want to connect with an audience. I want to communicate through the media. Like right now, I'm videotaping myself into my camera and I'm going to publish this on my YouTube channel. So I guess I'm trying to communicate with people. I'm trying to communicate with you. If anybody's actually listening to this, thank you for listening. I am just so stressed out. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. I'm busy working constantly. I volunteer somewhere out in nature. I have a health concern and I have to have it looked at. I have to have an ultrasound. I had an ultrasound and they found something. I have to have another ultrasound. I'm worried about it. Okay, that's something I'm worried about, but I know it's a waste of time to worry. So if there's anything seriously wrong with me, oh well, I guess I'll find out in a few months or whatever. I'm having some weird symptoms, so I'm a little concerned about that. But then at the same time, I'm trying to make sure my mom is okay. And as my parents both become elderly, it's clear to me that my dad is super healthy, but he's financially doing really well. So whenever he starts declining, he can like get help. He can pay for help. He lives in Florida, so it's not easy for me to go and he doesn't even need my help. He's extremely independent. My dad loves being independent. Um, and my dad drilled into my head, be independent, be independent. Don't be a gold digger. Don't be a gold digger. Be independent, be independent, be independent, be independent. So I'm a strong, independent, only child, okay, of my parents. I'm very strong like a Viking, but I know that I'm fragile. So I'm feeling really angry right now. I'm really angry with both of my parents, okay? I'm the only child of parents. I got neglected. My mom got neglected. My dad got both of my parents were neglected by their parents, okay? I don't know how many generations. Maybe it's been going on for hundreds of years. Thank you, I failed. That's what Matt Smith taught me to say. He's the guy from only Almost Live. I took a improv acting class from him. Thanks, Matt Smith, for that. So I'm feeling angry with my parents right now, and I love them. And I'm not saying this to disrespect them in any way. But as a daughter of these two people, like nobody, I'm an only child, so nobody understands. Like, I wish I had a brother or sister to call up and go, Mom, this, Dad, that, blah, 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 blah. How do we work through this? Blah, blah, blah. Nope. Can't call anybody on that. Nobody knows what it's like to be the daughter of these two people except me. So, but I know even my mom said, Hey, you're lucky you don't have brothers, just because my mom has two brothers. She doesn't even talk to them. She does not get along with either one of them. My two uncles, she never talks to. So my dad had two brothers. One died, and the other one he gets along with okay, but they're half siblings and they're very different. And one lives in California, my dad lives in Florida. So whatever. My dad's not that close to his brother either. So I guess if you have siblings, you probably wouldn't be close to them anyway. That's what my mom said. My mom said, "Oh, if you had siblings, you probably wouldn't even get along with them." It's like, okay, whatever. I like to think that if I had a brother or sister, I would get along with them. But hey, who knows? I need to calm down. I'm going to model for an art instructor, a guy named Z Lin, who's an amazing artist from China. Okay, he works at one of the universities here in Seattle, and I've been modeling for him for his art figure painting and drawing classes for 25 years. Like, I remember working with him in the year 2000. So I've been working for him for at least 25 years. I'm grateful. I've been an art model for 33 years. In fact, I wrote a song, Dave Flowers and I from Interactive Jack Records. We wrote a new song called the Kring with no clothes, or I don't know what it's called yet, but it's about figure modeling. It's my first poem I wrote about figure modeling. So it's a pop song about a poem I wrote about being an art model. Okay, so I've got music. I'm in a play. I'm in two art shows. I have an art car. I art model. I mean, I do a lot. Okay, I'm doing a lot of creative things. I'm really stressed out though. I'm pet sitting a beautiful cat named Carmela right now. I'm walking a whole bunch of dogs. Uh, I pet sat three cats a couple weeks ago, and now I'm pet sitting one cat. I love pet sitting. I love animals. I love dogs and cats. I would love to take care of somebody's goats. I would even take care of somebody's tarantula if they had a tarantula. I love animals, even insects. I feed raccoons. There's somebody that wants me to feed the raccoons every night that live near their house, so I'm doing that for them. But I'm supposed to keep secret about it because some of the neighbors like don't believe in feeding raccoons, but these people do. So I'm just discreetly feeding the raccoons because they believe in it. And I agree. I think that raccoons deserve to be allowed to be raccoons. Just like coyotes deserve to be coyotes. And I don't want coyotes eating any pets that I love, but coyotes got to eat. So there it is. That's part of nature. Let's not sugarcoat nature, okay? Let's not sugarcoat it. So I feel really frustrated right now. I'm worried about my mom. She has financial challenges, but she will not, none of my ideas, like she won't make things for this art gallery because she thinks she either has to be a crafts person that makes cute little things that sell, or she has to be a super high-end serious fine artist. I think she could be both. I think you can do full spectrum. You can do smaller items that sell for 20, 30, 50, 100 bucks, and you can do like $1,200 like one of a kind, unique pieces that hang on a wall or that are vessels or sculptures, or what do you call like a relief. I think she said she wants to do three-dimensional relief work that hangs on a wall. So my mom has all kinds of ideas about what she wants to do, and it's none of my business. She's totally entitled to do whatever she wants, but it's frustrating when I'm her daughter and when I suggest when oh, she's happy to have me come and give her groceries. She's happy to date a man who will help buy her groceries, but she refuses to actually get in her studio and make items that would actually sell. And if I were her, okay, if I was my mom, I would make low end items that would, 20, 30, $50 items that would sell in the gallery. And I would do the fancy schmancy stuff that would sell for 1200 and up. I would do both. I would do all of it. And then I would think of myself as a full spectrum artist, as a versatile artist, as an artist who makes, if you like the designs of my mom, you can buy something of hers for 20 to $100. But if you really like what she does and you can afford it, then you can buy a $1,200 item. So you can buy a $100 item, $50 item, $20 item, or a $100 or a $1,200. So none of my business. The fact that my mom needs my help, though, is what's frustrating me. And I don't know how to have healthy boundaries with her. That's the problem. So, and then my dad is telling me to go and help her in certain ways. And it's like the boundaries between me and my mom and me and my dad separately. Okay, we don't generally talk together. It's separate. It's like when I was a kid, I knew all the problems of my parents. They told me, they confided in me about their problems. And I don't know how much of that was because I was such a nice little empathetic kid, or how much of it was that they were just confiding in me like as if I was their therapist. Like they probably should have been talking to people their own age about their problems and not me. They shouldn't have been telling me about their personal problems. So that was a burden on me as a kid. And I still feel like when I'm around them, I still feel like I'm 9 years old or something. And it's just really embarrassing and frustrating. It's partly because I never had kids. So I don't know what it's like to be a mom. And I was too afraid. I had an abortion in my 20s because I was terrified of being a mother, financially, emotionally, physically, all of it. I was scared. Maybe I should have given birth and given it up for adoption. I don't know, but I was too scared to even do that. So I didn't do that. I probably shouldn't have gotten pregnant in the first place. I got pregnant with a man who wanted to have a kid with me, and then I was scared. And he was polyamorous, and he wanted to have kids with other women and go live on a commune and do all this like wild, like free hippie style. I just couldn't handle it. I was too scared, couldn't handle it. Didn't want to quit my job. I like making money. I feel safe when I earn money. So my dad drilled into my head, be independent, be independent, be independent. I am independent. Believe me, I'm trying to be more independent. I need to learn how to be emotionally independent. Okay, I'm financially totally self independent, self-sustaining. I don't need anybody financially. I do my own thing. I pay all my bills. I do everything pretty much by myself. I don't want roommates. No. So my love life right now is just weird. So, but I have a couple guys in my life that I love, and I'm not going to go into detail about it, but whatever. I'm lucky that I have people that accept me as I am. And there's somebody that is mostly a friend, but kind of a lover. And then there's a guy who's more of a boyfriend, but it's not really about the physical chemistry. It's more about like affection and back rubs. And we create music. And both the men that I love are very much musicians and into music. So I don't want to go into detail, but whatever. I'm doing what works for me. And mostly I feel like I'm a solo autonomous, sovereign being. Okay. I am a free range human being. Every single person is individual and unique. And I see everyone as a unique individual. And I need to learn to stop needing other people to approve of me. And that's part of why I like Bob Dylan so much is he doesn't give a flying fuck about what the audience thinks. Like he's always kind of been that way. Um, he's always kind of wanted to share with an audience, and it's kind of an oxymoron contradiction. It's kind of like he doesn't really care if the audience likes him or not. He's just going to do what he wants to do, and you can just take it or leave it. That's actually always been his attitude, even when he was trying to become successful. His energy was kind of like, "This is me. I'm doing my thing. You can take it or leave it." It's like he's kind of had the audacity to do that, and yet he is very successful, as we know. Bob Dylan and Tom Petty are two of my favorite songwriters, along with Tori Amos. But I am inspired by an Edie Brickell. I love Edie Brickell as well. I recently went and saw Jesse Sykes. That was a great show. I saw Pete Droge. That was a great show. I saw Pete Droge on the Vashon Island Center for Arts, whatever it's called. It's a beautiful auditorium. I saw Jesse Sykes at the Rabbit Box. Is that what it's called? The Rabbit Box. I think that's what it's called in Pike Place Market on First and Pike. That's a beautiful venue. Gary Mula passed away. I wish I could have met him. Just wanted to throw that in there, but I know he was associated. Gary Mula, is that how you say his name? I never actually met him in person, but I always felt a spark with him, and I wish I could have met him. Rest in peace, Gary Mula. So there it is. So I have to navigate the boundaries with my parents. So I just wanted to tell you how I'm doing. It is April 17th, 2025. Maybe I'll go see that Neil Young movie that's out only today if it's not sold out. Daryl Hannah, his wife, I guess, directed it, and it's black and white. And I love black and white, and I love Neil Young music. I love Bob Dylan and Tom Petty and Neil Young and Tori Amos and Bjork and Beck and Rafe Perlman and Jason Webley and Jesse Sykes and so many musicians and Pete Droge and Tom Petty and Bob Dylan, though, are way at the top for me. And Edie Brickell and Tori Amos are also way at the top for me. So thank you to all the musicians and the trailblazers. Thank you to the whistleblowers and the trailblazers that are very brave, and the oxymorons through the door, a group for loners, and they all showed up. I've always wanted to connect with an audience. I've always wanted to connect with people and reach people, but I tend to feel misunderstood and like an outsider. I'm a loner, I'm a misfit, I'm an outsider. Maybe that's my autism. I don't know what that is. Is that social anxiety? Is that being autistic? Is that just being a weirdo? I have synesthesia. I see shapes when I hear music. I'm left-handed. I'm an only child. um, I've been in therapy groups where you get in a group and they try to teach you how to connect with others, and everyone in the group talks about who they are versus who they aren't. And as a way of helping people feel like they're all similar. And whenever I'm in one of those groups, usually I'm the only one that goes over to the other side and there's nobody else there. It's like, oh, okay. I guess we have to learn to be comfortable if we're different and nobody relates to us. Oxymorons through the door, a group for loners, and they all showed up, meaning I appreciate groups who feel like they don't, are a group for outsiders, like a group for loners, a group for people who feel like they're weirdos who don't fit in anywhere. And they appreciate each other because they appreciate that everyone is unique. Because when I meet somebody, I don't put them into a category. At least I try not to put them in a box of what their gender is or what their ethnicity is or what their religion is or what their political opinions are. I don't care. I think of every single human as an individual human, okay? And then they happen to have whatever these opinions are in these different cultural, socioeconomic, whatever, different traits that people have. Like I am left-handed, only child, kind of an introvert, and yet I like to share in this public way. So I don't know what kind of introvert I am, but I'm a like a songwriter, like an actor. There's some actors that are introverts. There are some performers. I'm kind of a performer or like an expressive. I want to publish. I want to write a book and publish it. I want to write a poem and publish it. I want to make these videos and publish them. I am like an introverted extrovert or something. I don't know what box do I fit in? I don't know. I'm an oxymoron. So there it is. I'm a walking contradiction. I'm loud, but I'm quiet. I'm a loner, but I'm sharing with you. I'm sharing with whoever's listening. I don't even know if anybody really watches my videos, but I listen to these monologues. This monologue is probably mostly for me. It's for me and God, Great Spirit, higher self, whoever you are, Great Spirit. Goddess Kring, my TV show from Seattle Public Access. I had a show every week, 28 minutes. 1996 to 2011, I was on every single week for 15 years. And now I do these random YouTube videos just because I need to express myself. So I'm going to go to my modeling gig today. I park for free and I walk 20 minutes to get there. There's a few schools where if I park 20 minutes away, I can park for free and then I walk and I get exercise. That's what I do. So I'm going to model for art classes. I work with medical students. I pet sit, whatever. I do all these different things. I do a bunch of different artwork. Here's a collage. This is one of my old smartphone covers. It's a collage of self portals of me, self portraits. Okay, and then my non-representational art. Let's see. Here, got this. Self portals. Okay, this is me, and me. These are all me. This is Amplified Chameleon. That's the name of our new album, Amplified Chameleon, Getting Our Dreams On. So that's some of my artwork right there. So I just wanted to share that. Um, Good luck to everybody. And if the water is getting too hot for the frogs that are boiling, notice the water's getting hotter for the frogs that probably should jump out of the water before it's too late. There we go. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Okay. So have a good day, everyone. I just wanted to share. So I'm going to have to deal with these. I actually feel better now. I got some of my anger off my chest, and I have to come up with healthier boundaries, how to interact with both my parents and make the best of whatever time I have left with them. And as my dad liked to point out, I might pass away before them. My dad said to me, you might even pass away before your mom and I. So how do you know? So he was telling me to get my will in order. So like, my dad has a will, my mom has a will, I have a will. Okay, I think we all want to be cremated. We don't really care what happens to I think my dad wants his ashes and his, I don't know, my dad's telling me what his wishes are. So he wants to be cremated with his cat in the Lakeview Cemetery or something like that. So I don't know what my mom's wishes are. I don't really care what happens to my ashes, but what I would like whenever I pass away, my ashes, I would kind of like to be sprinkled on La Jolla Cove in San Diego, but I really don't care. I really don't care what happens to my ashes. I just sprinkle them in a garden somewhere. I don't care. I love plants. So sprinkle them on a nice garden. But What I really want is for my art to continue. When I'm no longer on this earth, I would love for my art to continue. I would love for somebody, whoever likes my art, to keep it. So I have a friend of mine that's like a brother to me. He used to meet my boyfriend, and now he's my brother, that I dated like, I don't know, 15 years ago or whatever, 20 years ago. Wait, I don't know, 18 years ago. I don't remember, but a long time ago in 2007, 8, 9, I dated him, and we're just friends now. And he's like my brother. He's like my brother that I never, from brother from another mother, as they say. He's like my brother, and he's about the same age as me. So maybe I'll make him the executor of my will. Hopefully he lives as long as I or longer. But um, I would love for my art to continue, my legacy, since I never had kids and I don't really have much of a family except for a mom and a dad. And it's challenging because I feel like they're my older brother and my older sister, and we don't have any parents. That's kind of the dynamic in my family. So I feel competitive with both my parents. Um, Never mind. I don't even want to say that. But I just feel really conflicted and weird about the whole thing. And I know they love me and I love them, but I need to figure out what's the best Shannon Kringen that I can be. What is that? What is the best adult that I can be? Because I don't feel like an adult, but I'm proud of myself for my art accomplishments, for my career. I built myself a full-time freelance career. I know how to live frugally in Seattle. Um, Yeah, and I question everything. I'm an independent thinker and I question everything. I question all authority. Um, and I do my own research. I don't listen to people who say don't do your own research. Shut up and listen to the authority. No, actually, no, I won't. I won't shut up and listen to authority. I will do my own research and I will figure it out for myself. I will follow my intuition. I will listen to different points of view than my own. So I will challenge myself. I will challenge the status quo. And I admire whistleblowers and I admire trailblazers. And I don't really have the guts to say some of the things that I think about current times, but whatever. Let's just say I don't conform to the little boxes that people are putting each other in, but I see everyone as an individual. And yeah, so good luck, everyone, and be yourself no matter what they say. And that Sting song, it's called Englishman in New York, and he goes, "Be yourself no matter what they say." I love that. I love that line. Be yourself no matter. And that's in fact what my tattoo means. It means be yourself no matter what they say and follow your own path. Everyone's unique. So that there it is. So bye for now. I will figure out my boundaries and learn how to be a better version of Shannon Kringen. Bye for now. Enjoy the beautiful sunshine in Seattle with the flowers in the spring. The air smells really good right now here in Seattle. There's spring flowers and trees, and the smell when the weather gets warmer in Seattle, I notice the smell of the plants that smells really good, especially the pine needles when they heat up in the summer. Smells really good. Okay, bye for now.